Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. From January the 1st to February the 3rd, the national average price of gasoline will be 15.99 pesos per litre of Magna, 17.79 pesos for premium, and 17.05 pesos for diesel, reported the Ministry of Finance and Public Credit. The unit explained in a statement that these maximum prices represent increments of 14.2% for Magna gasoline, 20.1% for premium, and 16.5% for diesel, compared to those observed in December 2016. Maximum prices will differ between the different regions of the country. The difference in costs is due to the distance from each location to the Pemex refineries or the points of importation, as well as to the different types of infrastructure for transportation and fuel distribution. These costs, approved by the Energy Regulatory Commission, vary for each region. The country will be divided into a total of 90 regions, 7 at the border and 83 inland, which correspond to the areas that supply Pemex's existing storage and distribution infrastructure. There's no increase in taxes on fuels. These concepts are also common across regions. In the 7 border areas with the United States, the maximum price will be set to limit the difference between the Mexican city and the US city on the other side of the border, through adjustments in the corresponding taxes. In other news, Mexico is in the automotive news this week, with the announcement by Toyota Motor Corporation that it will expand its Tijuana assembly plant, and Ford Motor Company's decision to move all its small car production from the US. BMW also broke ground this week on its $1 billion plant in San Luis Potosí. Toyota will invest $150 million at its Baja California plant in order to increase output of its Tacoma pickup truck from the current level of about 100,000 units a year to 160,000. The plant, where a third shift was added in April last year, is stretched to the limit, running 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. The expansion will create about 400 new jobs, the company said. Ford reconfirmed this week it would move the production of all its small cars to Mexico, where it already makes the Fiesta, over the next 2 to 3 years. It's already building the plant in San Luis Potosí, where most of the production will go. The $1.6 billion facility announced last April will begin operating in 2018. And nearly 2 years after announcing a new assembly plant, BMW Group began construction this week of a new factory in San Luis Potosí. The German automaker BMW will build the next generation 3 Series sedan at the new factory, with annual production predicted to a total 150,000 cars. The model is one of the top-selling luxury cars in the US and represents 30% of BMW's revenues. The $1 billion plant will begin operating in 2019, employing 1,500 people directly, said company executive Oliver Zipse at a press conference. In other headlines, the number of Mexican restaurants in the UK has risen by 71% in the last year, with chains such as Oaxaca and Burrito overtaking burger businesses. By any statistical measure, Mexican food consumption is increasing faster than any other segment of the restaurant industry in the UK. In addition, it's rapidly becoming more popular for home preparation. According to the British tabloid newspaper, The Mirror, hungry Brits forked out £101 million last year on tortillas and Mexican meal kits. In the last year alone, the number of Mexican restaurants led by brands such as Oaxaca and Burrito has risen by 71%. The growth has been outstripped the upmarket burger phenomenon, which has seen newcomers Byron and Five Guys mount a serious challenge to McDonald's and Burger King. Just over a third of Brits have now visited a Mexican or Tex-Mex eatery, making it the most popular ethnic food, ahead of Indian, Chinese, and Thai. Birmingham-based Indian burrito chain Rapchick, which combines influences from two of Britain's best-loved ethnic foods, is the UK's fastest-growing restaurant chain in percentage terms, growing 900% from 1 to 10 outlets in the last 3 years, according to research firm Horizons, the food service analysts. More established chains, including former MasterChef winner Thomasina Myers, Oaxaca has expanded rapidly, feeding more than 3 million people this year. Meanwhile, the Chiquito chain of Tex-Mex restaurants opened 9 new outlets in 2016. And finally, let's have a look at the markets. The Mexican peso decreased 0.14% to 20.68 from 20.71 in the previous trading session. Historically, the Mexican peso reached an all-time high of 20.77 in November of 2016 and a record low of 0.01 in May of 1972. IPC Mexico increased 0.59% to 45,563 from 45,881 in the previous trading session. Historically, the Mexico stock market IPC index reached an all-time high of 48,694.9 in August of 2016 and a record low of 14,008.2 in August of 2005. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and follow us daily on MexicoNewsNetwork.com for relevant stories about Mexico and the world. Until next time.